A welcoming sign greets families at the Children's Dental Center in North Arvada. Step inside and its warm Western flair delivers a place where kids put their imaginations to work and their fears to rest. It is the office of Dr. John Sexton.
It's kind of a conglomeration of a whole bunch of people working together with big hearts.
And that, by any standard, is a huge understatement. Because each year since 1996, Dr. Sexton and his staff have opened their hearts and journeyed to troubled regions around the world to provide free dental care to children less fortunate. Some have asked him why.
To see what they had to live in. Compare that to what I lived in. You can't say no. I said, what can I do?
Dr. Sexton has a heart for children like I've never seen a heart for children. He cares so much about the kids and every part of the kids' lives.
Cambodia, Romania, and Uganda, all countries where Dr. Sexton has stepped in to answer a need with staff members from his pediatric dentistry offices in Arvada, Lakewood, and Brighton. Plus 90 or more dentists from Colorado and around the country who've joined him since 1996. Early trips were made through organizations like World Vision. Later, Dr. Sexton founded the nonprofit Beracah AIDS Children to continue the trips.
Beracah means hate, in Hebrew means blessing.
The traveling is terrible. It's grueling, especially to Africa. It's a long flight, 2 different long flights, and by the time, and then a bus ride, and then by the time you get there, you're tired and dirty, and it's just, but it's also just an experience. It's just an awesome experience.
The first trip that we ever made as a group was to Cambodia, and to see Asia, that part of Asia, what they had lived with after Pol Pot regime was a little overwhelming. Culture shock.
We would walk down to the hospital each day, and I was in charge of sterilization, so just setting everything up, it was all kind of primitive compared to what we have now. It was just awesome to pioneer that, be part of the pioneering of the program.
In 1998, the plight of HIV-positive orphans in Romania caught the attention of Dr. Sexton and his team.
A lot of the kids, they got their 2-year-old inoculations in Romania, and then they used dirty needles and tainted blood, so they became HIV positive. The moms would tell the dads would leave the family, the mom couldn't support the kids, so then they would end up in orphanages, and it's heartbreaking.
With their immune systems weakened, mouth lesions and secondary infections were common. Dr. Sexton sought the help of an AIDS expert in Texas, Dr. Catherine Fleitz, to ensure they took all the right precautions.
The first trip, I was really nervous because to take my own family, and that's why I was glad to have Dr. Fleitz come along with us, so that if there was a needle stick or a problem like that, we could follow it up with antiretrovirus. When we got there, you were glad you were there. And not to be afraid of it, but just to see how we can help those kids.
Over a period of 8 years, the teams visited 5 clinics in Romania, treating hundreds on each trip and getting to know many of the children over time.
We began to develop friends, but with charts on 4,000 children alone in Romania, we saw the same kids, except many, many died.
His desire to help children that some of us would look at differently stretched me. It taught me about AIDS. Was very scared my first year. Didn't really want to treat children with AIDS because I thought that I could catch it, but I really learned a lot.
The interaction, the new cultures, I think that was the one thing that touched me the most, is just the difference, you know, in different countries, that how good we have it and they don't, even the kids with AIDS and the medicines we have, and they're just so grateful that we're there just working on their teeth, that, you know, which we take for granted.
HIV and AIDS are epidemic in Uganda, where some reports estimate that more than 1 million are infected, and more than 100,000 of them are children who got the virus through their mother. Many have been orphaned. Each year since 2000, Dr. Sexton and the teams have packed an entire dentistry office into boxes to make the long journey.
This is behind the scenes from the dental offices and what it takes. There's a couple of bathrooms here. It was an old restaurant, Fur's Cafeteria. It was here, and we've been able to use this space when we get geared for international travel.
Stacks of boxes of supplies, from tools to x-ray equipment to toys that keep kids busy while they wait. All have to be carefully planned and packed. But packing is just the beginning of the journey.
It's keeping track of everybody and luggage when you get it over there. We had 22 bags over, but one of the airlines really helped us. British Airways was sensitive to that, and so they would have. The first couple of years, our excess baggage was 5,000 or 6,000. But that was the best way to get it there. And the other part of transportation was getting the chairs over.
Their travel takes them through Kampala, with frequent stops at a British Christian-based clinic called Mildmay, and on to a clinic north of Lake Victoria.
This is where the hospital was at, and so we were able to come on one side of the country and then over to Truro.
Dr. Sexton and his team bring more than chairs and dental equipment. They also bring engineers, electricians, and other experts. Setup can take a full day.
Some days there would be that we would be so tired and work so hard that day, and we just didn't think we could see another patient. But at the end of the day is I guess at the end of the trip is when you're like, wow.
Tracy, an ortho technician, has made the trip to Uganda 5 times.
My most favorite place ever is Africa, because it's just the people are incredible. It's just such a wonderful place. The kids are awesome. They just have such a love of life for having such strife in their lives. That's my favorite thing, is the kids.
For many children in this poverty-stricken region, a trip to the dentist is a big deal. One calling for a suit. For others, it can be a life-saving event, as their immune systems have caused their dental health to deteriorate to unimaginable proportions. Day after day, trip after trip, teams that join Dr. Sexton see the difference they're making in these young lives. For Dr. Sexton, one of the rewards is the growth of the program since 1996. Those who give once usually give again, as is the case with Dr. Catherine Flights from Texas.
She called me up and said, do you need some dental chairs? I said, well, yes, we could use maybe 20 in Uganda.
A week later, she reported back that she'd gotten clearance for the donation through the State and Dental Chair Company.
And she said, well, the company that's going to, everybody is happy with it except for this one company, and they're kind of concerned about you. And the reason they were concerned is because they said, we're going to not make this model of chair anymore, so spare parts are going to be a real problem. So rather than taking the 20, could you take all 100?
The chairs are now in use in 2 countries.
You don't have to ask somebody when they say they'll do it. Because they've seen the need. And that's the way Americans are all about.
It takes dozens each trip to make a difference.
When you figure these are moms, most of the staff, we all are, and they're giving up their time to leave their families and go over and take care of other kids. And none of this would happen without the staff. It's a huge endeavor.
Though Dr. John Sexton puts the spotlight on his staff and all the other volunteers who make the trips possible, they say it's his generous heart that inspires them and gives them opportunities.
I am so thankful because of his big heart. We were able to just be part of this, and can't say enough about him.
Something you can't describe, and you leave a piece of your heart there. You're never the same again, and you always want to do it. Always.
I just am very thankful that I work here and I got the opportunity to do what I've got to do with Dr. Sexton.
My dad doesn't say no to anything. He's an amazing man, and he loves the Lord, and he's just willing to serve. And he loves those children, and he loves his staff, so he would do this forever.